Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with If I Could Choose Only One Work by... It would have to be... Well, the composer is Edvard Grieg. And the work, well, the only real choice. It's not the only real choice. It's actually a very interesting choice. Believe it or not, even though it's a very popular choice. The Peer Gynt Suites, numbers 1 and 2. Not the complete version of the incidental music, because then you have people screaming at you in Norwegian. And lovely as that may be, and I hate to give up the Dance of the Mountain King's Daughter. Oh, I love it. Well, look, those suites are, well, let me put it to you this way. In the entire 19th century, the whole of the 19th century, there are two totally outstanding, iconic works of incidental music. That is, music to accompany a play of some kind. The first is Mendelssohn's A Midsummer Night's Dream music. Now, when we did Mendelssohn, I chose his Violin Concerto because our list really had very few concertos and even fewer violin concertos. So, and it's an iconic violin concerto. So, it was a tough pick, a very tough pick. But we should have some incidental music in the list. We really should. And Grieg also has a concerto that I could have selected. The Piano Concerto, right? I mean, equally famous, actually, as Mendelssohn's Violin Concerto. And Grieg wrote so little music in large forms. But that's one of the reasons not to choose the Piano Concerto, because it really is atypical. Grieg was, first and foremost, a miniaturist. And although he did write some lovely chamber works, I mean, the violin sonatas, the string quartet, some beautiful works in larger forms, primarily the most Griegotistic works that he did were shorter works. So we could have chosen, for example, some of the lyric pieces, or maybe the Holberg Suite, one of those things. But at the end of the day, the Peer Gynt music is, it's ubiquitous. It's part of our musical DNA. I mean, you can't have salad dressing commercials without mourning from the Peer Gynt suites. Nowadays, every single commercial I see, including the latest one for Dirty Jobs, that TV show where the guy runs around doing all kinds of disgusting, lines of work. Well, that music is in the Hall of the Mountain King, which seems to be everywhere. What happens, actually, it's very interesting, is how this happens, is that somebody chooses a piece of classical music. They work for a particular ad agency. And that agency plugs, ads for all kinds of different clients, and they use the same music in a lot of them. That's what happened with the waltz from Shostakovich's, Suite for Variety Orchestra, when it became like the music behind a half a dozen commercials. And so in the Hall of the Mountain King has been popping up lately. You see it for car commercials. You see it for, anything that involves some sort of heightened awareness, rage, anger, excitement, ferocity. Well, then you haul out in the Hall of the Mountain King. So in the Hall of the Mountain King is the thing for Dirty Jobs, and it's also the finale of the first Peer Gynt Suite. Now, I did a talk on the Peer Gynt Suite number 1 in my How to Listen to Great Music series, which I strongly recommend you go have a look at because it's a lot of fun. But one of the things that these pieces show is just what a genius Grieg was at creating atmosphere in a small spot immediately, through repetition, through changes in harmony, through changes in scoring, because all of these works, basically these pieces in the Peer Gynt Suite, consist of the same tune, repeated in various ways. Oz's Death is just do-do-do, do-do-do, you-do-do-do-do-do-do. That's it. And he repeats it, he harmonizes it differently every time, and then at the moment of death, he turns it upside down. But it's the same tune. In the Hall of the Mountain King is the same tune played 3 or 4, how many times? 3 times, 4 times, all the way through, just with increasing orchestration. That is the genius of really great incidental music, because it immediately sets a mood. It doesn't have time to develop anything. It doesn't have time to do anything in larger forms and be more expansive. It has to just hit you instantly with what the guy's doing, but at the same time have a satisfying formal shape and get it all over with within, 2 or 3 minutes maximum. It's incredible. It's incredible stuff. And so I chose the Peer Gynt suites as the iconic incidental music, which I know the evil god Cancrozans, who is going to obliterate every piece of music but one for each composer, and who has tasked us with coming up with this list of essential pieces by each composer. I know he's going to love the Peer Gynt suites, and he's going to want to hear more incidental music. He's going to regret the fact that all of it will be gone, that other great composers who wrote fabulous incidental scores like Bizet, for example, or Sibelius, he's not going to want to lose out on that stuff. I don't think anyway. So I think this is a really good choice to at least keep us going in this series. So thank you so much for joining me, friends. Keep on listening. Take care.